Today in the news, next-gen GPUs are not as insane as you think, and Intel is barely making their own chips anymore. What's up guys, I'm Snows, and this is your boot sequence. Let's get started with Nvidia. For a while now, we've known that the next generation of GPUs would be power hogs. We've heard about that 800-watt monster that Nvidia was testing, and a lot of the information we got over the last year pointed at some high-end GPUs pushing all the way to 450 watts for AMD and about 600 watts for Nvidia. Right now, the highest TDP of any gaming GPUs is with the 3090 Ti. It's a whopping 450 watts. And because of the 3090 Ti, it seemed like those insane 600 watt figures were possible. I mean, we even got a new power connector for these kind of high power models that can deliver up to 600 watts. I'm talking of course about the 16-pin power connector that showed up early this year. Now though, with some recent leaks by Kopite7kimi, it seems like things won't be as bad as we thought. I'm not saying that we're going to get efficient GPUs, but it's not going to be as much of a space heater as we thought. So let's check out what he updated. According to his most recent leak, the RTX 4080 would have 9,728 CUDA cores, 16 gigabytes of GDDR6X memory at 23 gigabits per second, and the total card's power draw would sit at 340 watts. So only 20 watts above the 3080, or an increase of about 6%. The old leaks used to put the RTX 4080 at around 420 watts. So that's a big improvement. Now, I just want to mention something real quick. A lot of people are quick to jump and say that Kopite7kimi is basically just making up these specs out of thin air, but he really isn't. He was one of the most accurate leakers back with the RTX 3000 series, and even before that. He even leaked some prototypes like the RTX 3080 20 gigabytes, which was found in the wild after as an engineering sample, and of course he leaked the RTX 3080 12 gigabytes. Nvidia really does test many configurations before settling on their lineup. For all we know, the RTX 4080 at 420 watts just didn't make sense in performance per watt numbers, but at 340 watts, it's a better balance. In any case, I'm glad to see that the power consumption could be under control for the release. Plus, considering the RTX 4080 is rumored to blow past the RTX 3090 Ti in gaming with a good 30% in power savings, I'd say it's a win. So what are your thoughts on this? If Nvidia manages to keep the power draw increase under 10%, but the performance leap in games is higher than from the 2000 to the 3000 series, would it be worth it to you? Let me know down below. Next up, we got Intel in the news. You know, back in 2018, when Intel said that they would get into the GPU market in 2020, I never thought that they would split the manufacturing. At the start, Xe was made by Intel, but that was just the super low-end GPUs. Oh, and of course the integrated ones. Now though, their actual graphics cards, so the Alchemist A380, A750, and A770, are all made by TSMC. None of these are fabbed by Intel. It's pretty interesting since, well, Intel is like the biggest processor manufacturer in the US, and now they're about to let TSMC do a lot more. Their 14th generation of CPUs, so that should be Meteor Lake, well, it's like 90% made by TSMC. According to information sourced by tomshardware.com, the GPU chiplet, or the tile as Intel calls it, is going to be made by TSMC. This is the first time that TSMC makes an integrated graphics chip for Intel. The SoC tile, which includes a couple of CPU cores, will also be made by TSMC on their 6nm process, and lastly, the I/O tile will also be made by TSMC. The only thing that Intel is gonna make is the compute tiles, which is just the cores basically, also the interposer. That compute tile will be made on the Intel 4 process. So basically, Intel is making less than half of their die area. It's going to be an interesting next couple of years with Intel testing out this whole fabless route. Are they still going to expand their operations in the US? Anyways guys, that is pretty much it for today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Leave a like if you liked it, a comment if you want to talk about today's stories. As usual, you can click right here to see the latest video right here, to subscribe to the channel. Stay frosty my dudes, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.